What determines your long-term success is not so much your winners, but avoiding and minimizing your losers. What I mean by this is for long-term results, you need compounding. So to get compounding, you need to stay on track as much as possible. So what is more important is not just winning, but when things go sideways, don't get off track for too long and try to regain as quickly as possible. And that will lead to more compounding effects and greater results in the long run. Now, to regain quickly, there are 4 tactics. But first, I'll share a little bit of background on why we're even talking about this. I decided to change up my training regimen a little bit, which meant that yesterday, unintentionally, I bumped up my daily volume by a factor of 4 to 5. So that was significant. After that, I was pretty drained, even in the evening. Had some food, tried to get some work in, probably got a little bit too late because I wasn't really that productive anymore. Went to bed a little late, slept a little bit too shortly, and therefore in the morning I wasn't that productive. Just not really on point. Now, you can add further things on top. Maybe there's some things with you on a personal relationship front, something like that. Maybe things at work aren't really clicking, and now it starts cascading a little bit. So that's just to illustrate how these things can come about unintentionally and how they can quickly spiral out of control if you don't have a plan to handle them. So that's what we're going to talk about, the plan to handle these things. And like I said, of course, there are many more ways, but we're going to talk about 4 specific tactics to handle this. The first one is very simple, but always the first resort should be pushed through. Many times, if you just ignore something and just follow the plan, stick to the plan, things will tend to turn out fine. Are you really having a bad day, or are you really just having a bad 20 minutes that you allowed to turn into something bigger? That's what we want to avoid with the first tactic. A lot of times also, results lead to better outcomes. Those outcomes are rewarding and satisfying and incentivizing you to do more and keep following the game plan. So that's the first tactic. Second tactic, sometimes there is really more going on. It is really a bit more invasive. You tried to push through it. It didn't work. So that's when tactic number 2 comes into play. You disengage to be able to re-engage. Refreshed. Yeah, take a break. Reprioritize, right? Have a moment to think, okay, is this all really that important? How can I shift things around? What's really essential that I complete here? That in itself can be very refreshing and reset the frame a little bit. Other things are even taking a nap. Like if it's like a physical tiredness thing, just a short nap can do wonders. Or even, having a quick meal. maybe usually you're on intermittent fasting. Hey, maybe this is a moment where it makes sense to actually skip that for this specific day, having an extra meal, have that break, have that moment, have that extra energy, and that will allow us to regain and get back on track. Tactic number 3, which is a bit like an extension of this. What works wonders is getting out of your head and getting into your body. And you can do this all types of different ways, but one of the best things always in these situations is going for a workout, going to training, going to class, whatever it is that you do, whether it's martial arts or lifting weights or going for a swim, going for a jog, even going for a walk outside. If you can't do those things, even taking a cold shower will at least take you out of your head for a little bit and get you into your body and kind of hit that reset button. You'll feel amazing afterwards. And it's funny how exercise often makes you feel like the problem that you had before is suddenly a minor or almost non-existing things, and it just slides off your shoulders. Tactic number 4, which requires a bit more planning, and this is why I think it's so important to have a set schedule and a routine, or maybe call it a flow if it's a bit more modular and there's like you can shift it around, but there's sort of like a flow that you stick to that your days tend to follow. Because what this allows you to do is to just fall back in line, fall back into the rhythm that you're already used to once you had that break, once you had that training or that workout, and it allows you to fall back into the rhythm. And from there, you just execute. Maybe it's still you're not on top yet, but you are making that regain. You are getting back on track. And now all you gotta do is just execute, go through the motions, perform what you had planned anyway. And then after you do that, for a few steps, hit a few items off your list, bam, you're back. And then you'll salvage the day as much as you can. So, again, really important to, when you get off track, get back on it as soon as possible. Don't rush it necessarily. Sometimes you do need to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. And there are different tactics for this, different ways to go about it. You don't necessarily have to do them in that order, but loosely, that's the approach that I would take. So for the next time you have a moment like this, save this video, come back to it, try to apply it. I'm Stefano Sanabria. I'm an executive and Muay Thai practitioner, and I apply the lessons and insights and mentality from martial arts to life and business. For more of that, like and subscribe, and I see you tomorrow for the next daily video.